as tension escalates between Donald Trump's U.S. and Iran's proxies, including Yemen's Houthi rebels in the Middle East. Several powerful Iranian-backed militia groups in Iraq are reportedly prepared to disarm for the first time. As many as 10 senior commanders, including 6 local commanders of 4 major militias, and Iraqi officials told Reuters that the move seeks to avert the threat of an escalating conflict with the Trump administration. The move to defuse tensions follows repeated warnings issued privately by U.S. officials to the Iraqi government since Trump took power in January. The officials told Baghdad that unless it acted to disband the militias operating on its soil, America could target the groups with airstrikes. Is that al-Shabaab under? A senior Shiite Muslim politician close to Iraq's governing alliance told Reuters that discussions between Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and several militia leaders are very advanced, and the groups are inclined to comply with U.S. calls for disarmament. The factions are not acting stubbornly or insisting on continuing in their current form. They are fully aware they could be targeted by the U.S. The 6 militia commanders interviewed in Baghdad in a southern province are from the Kataib Hezbollah, New Jabr Kataib al-Shahada, and Ansar Allah-Alafia groups. Trump is ready to take the war with us to worse levels that we know that, and we want to avoid such a bad scenario. The commanders said that their main ally and patron, Iran's elite Revolutionary Guards military force, had given them its blessing to take whatever decisions they deemed necessary to avoid being drawn into a potentially ruinous conflict with the United States and Israel. 2 security officials who monitor militias' activities said they are part of the Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an umbrella group of about 10 hardline Shiite armed factions that collectively command about 50,000 fighters and arsenals that include long-range missiles and anti-aircraft weapons. The resistance group, a key pillar of Iran's network of regional proxy forces, has claimed responsibility for dozens of missile and drone attacks on Israel and U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria since the Gaza war erupted about 8 months ago on April 6. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi reiterated Iran's willingness to hold indirect talks with the United States, while emphasizing that the 2 countries have held no direct negotiations yet. Araghchi made the statement on the sidelines of a meeting held by the National Security and Foreign Policy Committee of the Iranian parliament. We have declared our stance. We advocate for diplomacy and negotiations, but indirectly, of course, it should be admitted that no rounds of negotiations have been held so far in contradictory messaging. The U.S. president called on Tehran to hold direct negotiations on its nuclear program, while threatening to bomb Iran if diplomacy fails. On March 30th, Trump threatened Iran with bombing and secondary tariffs if Tehran did not come to an agreement with Washington over its nuclear program. He told NBC News that American and Iranian officials were talking without giving more details. Iran has stressed time and again that it will not sit at the negotiating table with the U.S. administration as long as Trump continues his pressure campaign against Iran. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian criticized the language of threat against Tehran on April 5th, saying the country is willing to engage in negotiations on equal footing. Pezeshkian said the Islamic Republic of Iran seeks dialogue on equal footing. They threaten Iran on the one hand and seek to hold negotiations on the other. Earlier, the Iranian foreign minister dismissed direct talks with the United States as meaningless, given Washington's threats to use force against the country that Iran's top general said the leader of the Islamic Revolution, Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei, gave an appropriate response in accordance with his strategies and directives to a letter sent by U.S. President Donald Trump to him last month. Chairman of the Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces, Major General Mohammad Bagheri, made the remarks in a meeting with commanders, managers, and staff of the armed forces in the Qadam al-Amba Air Defense Base that on April 6, Bagheri emphasized that Iran is not a warmonger, but will firmly oppose any form of bullying. He highlighted the leader's strategy, which asserts that while Iran will not initiate war, it will respond decisively to any threats that demand muzzle gravity of all material to more than double zero, and all parties involved in this response. Iran to the United States. The leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, gave his orders, and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi conveyed his measures. His measures were based on the fact that we will respond to the threat with all our forces. But we are not war-seeking and have no intention of starting a war. The point is that we are seeking peace in the region. We are not seeking nuclear weapons on the issue of nuclear, and we are pursuing the needs of the Iranian people. We will not negotiate directly with the U.S., but there is no problem with indirect negotiations. You are the most deceitful and renegade party, Donald Trump, in the negotiations, and therefore there is no trust in you. But we, Iran, will not close the way. We will leave the indirect path of negotiations open, so that if you move honestly, we can negotiate. This wise and profoundly reasonable response by Iran's leader is intended to make both our nations, people, and the world understand that the Islamic Republic of Iran strategy is to defend its interests while progressing toward its envisioned horizon. We are not a warmongering system, but neither will we tolerate or accept bullying, and we will stand firm for that shroud for how to do something or for how your path seems for that house. Meanwhile, Iran has placed its military on high alert, warning neighboring countries that host American bases not to support potential U.S. strikes that on the morning of April 7th. Open-source intelligence outlet OS Defender reported a significant uptick in U.S. military activity, spotlighting the movement of air defense assets and other equipment towards the Middle East. According to a post on XC-17 Globemaster III and C-5 Super Galaxy aircraft from the U.S. Air Force took off from U.S. Air Base in South Korea, crossing Europe en route to the U.S. Central Command Area of Responsibility. Another C-5M arrived at Ramstein Air Base in Germany from the United States, likely preparing to continue its journey to the same region. The post noted that since March 25th, over 120 U.S. military logistics flights, including C-17 planes, C-5 C-130s, KC-1 and 35, and KC-46 have touched down in the Middle East. This surge in airlift operations has sparked curiosity and concern among observers, raising questions about what's driving this effort and what it means for America's global posture. The choice of open air base as a departure point stands out as a curious detail in this unfolding story. Located about 63 kilometers south of Seoul, Ocean is a critical hub for U.S. forces in the Pacific, hosting the 51st Fighter Wing and serving as a linchpin for deterrence against North Korea. It's not the most obvious staging ground for a mission targeting the Middle East, which lies thousands of miles away across multiple continents. Analysts have long noted the Pentagon's need to balance resources between the Indo-Pacific, where tensions with China and North Korea simmer, and the Middle East, where conflicts involving Iran and its proxies remain a persistent challenge. By pulling assets from South Korea, the U.S. military may be signaling a temporary shift in focus or testing its ability to juggle commitments across to vital regions. What these aircraft are carrying remains a matter of speculation, as no official statements from the Department of Defense have confirmed the cargo specifics. The C-17 Globemaster III and C-5 Super Galaxy are workhorses of the U.S. Air Force's airlift fleet capable of hauling everything from troops to heavy machinery. The C-17, built by Boeing, is a versatile strategic airlifter designed to deliver cargo and personnel to remote or austere locations with a payload capacity of up to pound 170. 900, it can carry a single M, one Abrams tank, multiple Humvees, or even a disassembled helicopter like the 47 Chinook. Its ability to land on short, unpaved runways is down to 3,500 feet, makes it ideal for rapid deployments.